A state visit is a visit undertaken by the head of state, in this case the president, to another country upon the invitation of that head of state, the head of state of that country. In this case, it's the visit of President Aquino to Indonesia upon the invitation of His Excellency President Susilo Bangbang Yudhoyono, whom we call for short SBY. Usually a state visit has an official program, and the official program is no different from programs in other countries. It's sort of standard. We have pretty much the same program in the Philippines. He will start the day on Tuesday with a wreath laying at the Kalibata Cemetery, Hero Cemetery. Parang sa atin yun, no? Sa wreath laying sa monumento ni Rizal. Followed by, this wreath laying will be followed by the official program at the Istana Merdeka, the presidential palace. He will start with the courtesy arrival honors, courtesy call on the president, photo session with the president. Then the courtesy call is fairly short. It's a call on a meeting with the president. Maybe it's a courtesy call is probably not the right word anymore here. It would be a meeting with the president. Then they will move on to a bilateral meeting which involves the other members of the Philippine delegation. That's where they tackle issues that concern both countries, either in matters of cooperation or if we have any sensitive issues, that's where they will discuss it. After the bilateral meeting, there will be a joint press conference, and the joint press conference will give both heads of state the opportunity to highlight what it is they felt that they like to talk about to the press or to the public that emanates from their discussions, both at the private meeting or at the bilateral meeting. There will also be, as far as I know, there will be a joint statement that will be circulated. But the joint statements usually just generally what was taken up during the visit. It will probably be at the joint press conference that any specifics will be made, will be announced, or that is where the press can raise their questions. The UPH has got a long name, the Universitas Pelita Harapan. It is one of the most prestigious private universities here in Indonesia. And a few years ago, that university invited former President Aquino to speak, and she did. And when they learned that President Aquino was coming, they quickly sent an invitation, which President Aquino was quickly accepted also, as far as I know, because this was not coursed through us. I just know that it was done directly. And for that visit to the university, I think it is intended to confer on the president an honorary law degree. So, and followed by the conferment will be following the conferment will be a short speech by the president, I imagine. State visits are intended to renew ties with the country, and Indonesia is a very close, well, a close neighbor and a very close friend to the Philippines. It's a country where we have no contentious issues at all. It is a country where we have excellent people-to-people contact at official and personal levels. State visits are also intended to explore possibilities to expand bilateral relations. When we say bilateral relations, it can be cooperation in several issues, in education, sports. So we didn't mention, we have those memorandums of understanding to be signed also. It is an opportunity for us to expand trade relations also, or investment relations, and this is exactly what the president will be doing. We will be signing 3 memorandums of understanding. I failed to mention that when I was talking about the official visit of the president. These are intended to enhance our exchanges in education, in sports, in combating transnational crime. The first memorandum will be a memorandum on basic education to be signed by the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, since the Secretary of Education is not available to sign it. We will have a memorandum of understanding on sports cooperation to be signed by the chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission. And we will have a third memorandum of understanding on the prevention and combating of transnational crime to be signed by the Director General, I believe, or of the Philippine National Police, General Bacalso. This is very important to us. You know, this is a country with which we have great cooperation on combating terrorism, on combating the issue of trafficking in persons, trafficking in drugs, particularly trafficking in drugs. It's becoming more and more important today here. Other areas where we explore cooperation and expansion, very important. We want to expand our trade and investment relations with Indonesia. For which reason, we have worked hard to ensure that the President will have the opportunity to meet with captains of industry. He will be meeting with the CEO of 3 of the top 5 groups of companies. That would be the Salim Group, the Bakri Group, and the Wilmar Holding International. So we're hoping that we can entice these companies to invest in the Philippines or to develop further exchanges with trade and investment. Cooperation is not the word, trade and investment in the Philippines. We still have the meeting with the Filipino community. After the Universitas Pelita Harapan, President will have to rush back to meet with the Filipino community. And it is a community that is so looking forward to meeting him because they have great confidence in our President. So we've actually had to find a way to limit the participants because we cannot take all that want to come and be there. So we anticipate over 300 persons attending that event. It's easy to talk about the Filipinos here in Indonesia. I cannot give you exact numbers. It's very hard for us to determine since they're not all registered with the embassy. We estimate about 9,000 Filipinos all over Indonesia, which is not a big number when you think of other countries. The Filipinos in Indonesia started coming in 1970 with SGV. They brought in a lot of their accountants, their auditors, I believe. And since then, we have about 3,000 professionals here in Indonesia. We say professionals, highly skilled workers, and they are employed in some of the largest companies. I mentioned Salim. There's the Lipo Karawaci, which owns the Universitas Pelita Harapan, and a lot of other big companies. They are there, and they're mostly in the financial sector. They came in as accountants in an accounting firm. They have moved on to become financial advisors. They have moved on to opening their own consulting firms. And sometimes they're already retired and they're called back because their expertise is highly regarded and needed by big companies. So the President will have the opportunity to meet these Filipinos, and hopefully they will have just a little chance to interact. But the time is limited, and we will do what we can to make that happen. Yes, in 2009, we celebrated the 60 years of Philippine bilateral relations with Indonesia, or diplomatic relations with Indonesia. In those 60 years, we've had nothing but warm friendship to describe our relations. I say this because I'll give an example. Even as the chargé d'affaires, I'm not even the ambassador. I can approach the Minister of Foreign Affairs and talk to him, and he will answer me whatever. He says, oh yes, I'll be happy to meet your minister. Please tell me if there's anything I can do for you. That is a very telling when you can have that kind of warm relationship at my level with the foreign minister of this country. And this is true for a lot of other officials of Indonesia. So easy to approach, so cooperative. We have cooperation at all levels. When it comes to, I'll give you another example. When we have candidatures in international bodies, it's almost a given unless they have their own candidate and their, that's not even a reason, unless they have their own commitments ahead of our information that we are putting forward the candidate, we can almost be sure that they will vote for our candidate, and we do as much for them. So we have this kind of cooperation in international bodies, not only in candidatures, we have cooperation in resolutions. We have an easy access to our counterparts, and if there's anything we need to take up at any time, we can do that. For this visit, I interact with my counterpart in the Department of Foreign Affairs until close to midnight every day, and it's just a very comfortable relationship. Aside from the official a relationship at official level, people-to-people contact is very easy. In fact, when we had the 60 years of bilateral relations, we focused on people-to-people contact. We organized activities where that would happen, and it was a great success. Napakalaking karangalan ang maging unang bayan na bibisitahin ni Presidente Aquino dito sa ASEAN. Ang Indonesia ang nangunguna maliban sa Vietnam, kung saan pumunta siya para sa ASEAN Summit noong Nobyembre. Kinikilala ng mga Pilipino dito sa Indonesia ang karangalang ito. Kung sila ang tatanungin, ang sasabihin nila si Presidente Aquino ay ang larawan ng bagong Pilipinas. At kami naman dito sa pasuguan ng Pilipinas sa Jakarta, handa kaming gampanan ang kinakailangan upang matulungan namin si Presidente Aquino na matupad ang kanyang bisyon para sa Pilipinas.